Max, should they consider firing him right now?
They have to be considering it. Who wouldn't? I mean, ultimately, you're not going to do it because you're a franchise without stability, and you look like a clown show. And maybe you would be if you get rid of your head coach in the preseason. And I've been a Hue Jackson apologist. I think it's time, I have to say, I've been an apologist. The Antonio Callaway punishment, he makes him play the wide out the whole preseason game, even when he's tired and he wants to come out because he failed to mention a marijuana issue that, everyone jumped on Hue Jackson, and this is ridiculous, and this is stupid, and he's not a head coach. And I thought, wait a minute. Actually, that's punishment for a player. He'll be more accountable. No one wants to play a whole preseason game, but you're giving him an opportunity, and people are very critical of Hue Jackson, and that's just been the latest. One win in 2 years. I mean, it's as bad as it gets, right? Like, why are you drafting at the top, even for a franchise that's stockpiled draft picks all the time? It's because you haven't won a lot of games. And I've been an apologist for him, but I cannot apologize, Will, for last night for Hue Jackson. That was, how else do you say it's idiotic? First of all, I don't agree with the decision to not give Baker Mayfield any reps with the first team, with the first unit. I don't get it. The idea that, because Tyrod Taylor, I'm going to avoid a quarterback controversy, it's really his stated reason is because he wants Tyrod Taylor to get as many reps as possible with the first. Okay, fine. So you are married to that idea. That guy is going to be your starter. That's the plan. That's what you've prepared for. He goes down on his wrist like that. You don't know if it's like the severity of that injury going to have to get checked out and everything. And you put him back into a preseason game? It doesn't make sense. I can't, Will, sometimes we can say reasonable people can disagree. When Tom Coughlin played the Giants, when they had a playoff berth locked up on the last game of the season against the undefeated Patriots, his rationale was, I want them to get a taste of what that is, and I want them to keep momentum and everything. And I thought, you're going to maybe injure your guys. But reasonable people can disagree about things like that, and he turned out to be right. Where can a reasonable person defend what Hue Jackson did last night? Because I cannot.
Unfortunately, Max, I don't see how reasonable people can disagree on this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong in any single way. That was an embarrassment for the Cleveland Browns, their leadership, and for Hue Jackson. And I agree with you, by the way. Hue Jackson is a completely likable character that you would love to see succeed. But this made zero sense. Let's start from the top. Baker Mayfield gets zero reps with the first team. Okay, to your point, Max, I don't know why you would say that. I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why you would be so stubborn and obstinate about making sure he never even gets the experience of playing with the first team. And do you know how short-sighted that is? Do you know how much lack of planning that shows? Who cares who your first team, second team quarterback is? Could he have perceived? Could he have possibly foreseen the prospect of, the guy you're married to getting injured? Might it be helpful at that point for your backup quarterback, no matter who it is, whether or not it's Baker Mayfield or Drew Stanton, to get a little bit of experience playing with the guys he might want to play with when he fills in? I mean, that in itself right there is malpractice. Why shouldn't your backup have any experience with the guys he might play with if your starter gets hurt? That's absurd. But, no, we'll move along past that. He says this. And then, by the way, Max, I don't know if you're watching Hard Knocks, but Hue is married so much to this idea that he now begins to contradict himself. Did you remember the moment in Hard Knocks where he gets into an argument with Todd Haley and his assistant coaches about how much he's going to rest his starters? Because he doesn't want to risk injury. He actually buys into what you do. Don't risk guys in the preseason, right? Well, he goes ahead and he plays Tyrod Taylor in the preseason game. And after he's injured, he puts him back in, thus violating the Hue Jackson standard of don't play your guys in the preseason, thus you'll risk injury. I don't understand why Tyrod Taylor would come back into the game. He's your starter. You've said so. You've said these games put your players at unnecessary risks. He's already gotten a risk. He's already gotten an injury, and you're putting him back in, thus jeopardizing Tyrod Taylor more, and thus depriving your backup quarterback of the ability to play with the ones. It fails on every level. And I'll tell you this, Max, I don't think Hue Jackson's going to make it through the season. I mean, Tony asked you if he'd been fired before the season. I don't think so. I mean, are they considering it? The truth is, I think John Dorsey and the Browns have been considering it for a year, firing Hue Jackson. And I don't think he'll end up making it through this season.
And you point out what the issue is really. When you hear his initial premise logically, you're like, I don't know about that. That doesn't sound right to me. And then he's inconsistent applying it. So the premise itself, it's like, what? And then you're not consistent applying it.
Right.
Some coordinators don't make it as head coaches. Some need to try once and fail. Hue Jackson right now, it looks bad. Now, look, all this stuff goes out the window if the players like him and play for him, because he has a lot of talent this year, and there is buzz among bettors, especially because the odds have moved, that the Browns are going to be good this year. They even hung tough sometimes last year, even though they had a bad record. So maybe if he's the kind of coach who players want to play for, we'll see, and we'll all have to eat crow eventually. But much as I said, his logic is inconsistent, and then is not great, and he's inconsistent applying that logic. It's a sort of a kind of a catch-22 for the Browns also, because on the one hand, you are good. You'd like to make something out of this season. If you start to believe that Hue Jackson just can't get it done, when do you pull the trigger? If you do it now, you are a clown show. This inconsistent franchise with no stability fires the coach because of some questionable decisions in the preseason. You really can't do that. And yet, if you believe he's not the guy, you don't want to get off to a 1-3 or 1-4 start either. So it's a tough situation for the Browns. I am convinced that Hue Jackson is not the right man for the job right now. I agree with you. I find it easy to believe he doesn't make it through the season, but I think at this moment the Browns' hands are tied.
Yeah, I'll say this, Tony, to leave it. I don't blame Tyrod Taylor for coming back in the game. I don't blame him for wanting to come back in the game. When that injury happened, I thought, well, here's the dawn of the Baker Mayfield era. I thought Tyrod Taylor just got Wally pipped, Max, right away. And I don't blame him for wanting to get back in. Can't give up that job. Baker's never given it back. But it's his coach's job to make sure he doesn't force his way back into the game.